Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom Airsoft. It's good to see you again. If it's your first time here, as always, it is good to see you and I hope you're going to stick around. Okay, well, welcome to our weekend video. Back here in the studio as always. Those of you who follow the channel already will know that we normally upload twice a week, normally midweek on a Wednesday, which we'd normally aim to do as gameplay type videos, unless we don't have any gameplay footage for that particular week, and then we do another one of these studio videos. And on the weekends, normally on a Saturday, we'll look to upload one of these studio videos. And in the studio videos, we'll look at all things Airsoft, replica and gear reviews, tech, and everything in between in our great sport and hobby, which is Airsoft. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, and you haven't subscribed already, then do get subscribed to the channel. That way you won't miss any of my uploads, won't miss out on any of this good stuff. Okay, well, with all that out of the way, what are we going to have a look at today? Well, today we are going to have a quick talk about gas masks in Airsoft. Because they look cool. And I sometimes get questioned by some of the newer players and experienced players at my home site at Tazball Airsoft about gas masks, whether to run a gas mask, whether I've ever done it, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of discussions sometimes you can find on social media and on the forums and things where people have talked about gas masks. So I thought we'd have a quick chat about them today. And we'll look specifically at my gas mask. This is the only one that I've ever run. This is a genuine Avon S10 gas mask, which is surplus. I think it's actually dated as 1988, so I think it's the S10. Anybody who maybe knows more about this kind of thing can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Okay, so gas masks. Do you need one in Airsoft? Well, not really. not a real gas mask anyway, because we don't tend to throw toxic gases at each other. We do throw smoke grenades and that type of thing, and sometimes they can smell a bit bad, but I really don't think you need a full-on respirator for those kind of things. So why would you want a gas mask in Airsoft? Well, you might be going for a specific loadout or a specific look. Now, this S10 gas mask, I particularly like this mask because it goes along with the theme that I was aiming for when I made it, which is, you know, like the kind of SAS kind of look from the Embassy Siege and that type of thing. But, you know, I don't really do copy loadouts. I just thought it looked really cool with an all black loadout and an MP5. It looks superb. Some people go to town and do the whole historically accurate loadouts. And if they do, that might be another reason you want a gas mask. Or it might be that you like to role play a bit when you play in Airsoft, and some of your favourite computer game characters or movie characters or anime, stuff like that, they may wear a gas mask, so it becomes that you want a gas mask for that. Or again, you know, if you're playing a themed type game or apocalyptic game, you might feel that you want a gas mask or some sort of respirator to complete your look. So there's all sorts of reasons in Airsoft. As with everything that we do in Airsoft, 90% of Airsoft is looking cool. And a gas mask can certainly make you stand out. It certainly can look different. There are pictures of me wearing this gas mask in-game and out of game on Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to have a check out on there, you can find Rock Bottom Airsoft on Facebook and Instagram. There's some pictures on there of me in this. So what we're looking at with gas masks? Well, first of all, let's have a look at cost. If you want to buy a genuine S10, for example, like this one, you are looking at substantial money these days. I was just having a quick look through eBay and that type of thing myself before we started having a chat in this video. And I was seeing the prices on them ranging from anywhere from £100 British all the way up. So they go higher than that. So, I mean, £100 British for an old gas mask, that's a lot of money. If you want a genuine modern gas mask, like an FM or something like that, you can be looking from about £200 British. Some of them are higher than that, but they are functional gas masks. And let's be honest, guys, like we've just mentioned, you don't really need or particularly want a functional gas mask in Airsoft. You just want the look. So that would then bring you on to the budget end of gas masks. And you'll probably see on eBay, Amazon, various retailers will sell lookalike gas masks that are advertised for Airsoft. And those gas masks, you can get those from anywhere from 10 British pounds all the way up. You know, some going as high as 80 British pounds. Again, if you're over stateside there, if you're in the US, you'll be looking at similar prices. You're going to be looking at, you know, from $10 up for the cheaper ones, and then, you know, a couple of $100 for a proper gas mask. Now, the cheap ones, maybe not such a good idea. If you go for the really cheap ones, you've got to be very careful with gas masks. And that brings us on to the next part of gas masks in Airsoft. Let's use this S10 as an example. Now, this S10, as you might notice, is not looking exactly the same as what it did when it was kindly gifted to me by one of my friends that is ex-Army. He managed to gift this to me. Now, this doesn't exactly look like the S10 does when you get it. The reason being is I've made this, as I would call it, Airsoft ready. So the first and most important thing with any mask in Airsoft, and I can't stress it enough, anything that is going to act as protection is your eyes. You need to protect your eyes in Airsoft. You need good eye protection. Now the S10 mask, for example, and the majority of gas masks you're going to buy that are made for gas, won't have ballistic rated lenses, and they won't have lenses that are rated to receive an impact, which, as you will all know, in Airsoft, we need lenses in our eye protection that can withstand the impact of BB strikes. We don't want to lose an eye. We don't want to get ourselves injured. We're supposed to be having fun. So for that reason, you have to modify a standard S10 gas mask with polycarbonate lenses, which is what I've done here. Now they come in various colours, so you can go for all sorts of loadouts and make them look really cool. You see a lot of people running them with the red lenses so that they look like something off Resident Evil. However, I went with green. And the lenses, you can buy these on eBay pre-cut, so they're at the right size. They vary in price from between 7 British pounds up to 12 British pounds, and you get the circular polycarbonate, and you have to install those yourself. Some people may be selling these that are already modified, but again, be very careful. If you haven't done the work, you need to know that you can trust your eye protection. I installed these myself. It's not easy. It's very fiddly. You have to remove the seals around the original eye holes, and of course once you install these lenses, it's no longer gas tight, so it no longer functions as a gas mask. It now is just purely for the look, and it offers me eye protection because these polycarbonate lenses are rated for an impact from BBs. Now the next thing is the front vent on this gas mask. The front vent on the gas mask is only made out of soft, brittle plastic. Because this was created in 1988, the rubbers and plastics have gone off slightly, so they become very brittle. Now to protect your mouth and your teeth, you can buy one of these, which is a front vent protector for S10s. Again, it's 3D printed with polycarbonate in the back to protect your teeth should it get shot in the vent area, because you don't want the BBs going through that. One of those, we'll be able to get those on eBay around about 17 British pounds. Is what I paid for that. So again, we're increasing cost. Very easy to install that one though, guys. Not as tricky as doing the lenses. Very easy, just screw straight on basically. So there you go. That's the S10 then really ready for Airsoft. You've got eye protection that's going to protect your eyes, and you've got mouth protection over the intake vent on the front there. Over the front vent, should I say, rather. Intake vents on your canister here. So that then takes us on to the next part. The gas mask is very uncomfortable to wear. It's going to make your face sweat. You will get slight fogging issues in a lot of cases, but if your gas mask is working well, you shouldn't get too much fogging because you get a good airflow in there. But you are going to sweat in it, and it does make breathing much more difficult. Obviously, you've got it round your face. As a lot of my friends at Airsoft who are serving or ex-serving soldiers will attest, they hate these things. They say, you know, they don't know why anybody would wear one of these for a fun activity. But again, It's only really for the photos and to look cool. I don't wear this all day if I'm taking it to a game. I maybe wear it for one game at most and then I've had enough. So breathing is certainly an issue in your gas mask. That then brings us on to the canisters, because the canister is part of the look. The canister will certainly make it harder to breathe if it's a functional canister. If it's got the filtration system in there, then obviously it's a restriction that you're breathing through. Now, with this one, you can get these canisters again on eBay or from army surplus stores, and what you end up having to do is modify the canister. So I cut the canister with a Stanley knife, cut it open, remove everything that's inside the canister. So now, in my case, this is just an empty plastic box that looks like a canister. You can make out it has the exact look, but the tape that's round it is round it to hold it together, because I've emptied all the charcoal and all the filtration substrate that was in there. I've emptied it out, so that's just an empty canister now, which does make breathing easier. You know, it looks the part, but it doesn't filter anything, it doesn't do anything, it just looks the part. So that's another important thing to remember. Now that then brings us on to these filters. Be very careful if you're buying a surplus gas mask, particularly an older surplus gas mask. Do not run the filters with the filtration in there. In fact, I wouldn't run a filter at all on any of the much older gas masks or any from Eastern Europe, because some of those include fiberglass, and even worse, some of them include asbestos as part of the filtration medium. And you don't want to be breathing that in, guys. That's highly carcinogenic, it's bad for you. So don't run the filters is what I'd say. You don't need the filter, you're not using it as a functional gas mask. So whatever you do, do not run filters on older gas masks. And also, any filter, I would recommend emptying out the filtration system in it so that it makes it easier for you to breathe. But like I say, on the older gas masks, do a bit of research online. Quite a lot of them include asbestos and things like that. And not only do you not want to be breathing through that, you also don't want to be opening one of those canisters up, because they are hazardous materials and you don't want to get near those. So that's something to remember. The vast majority of surplus gas masks won't offer you significant eye protection, won't offer you significant face protection, and in some cases the canisters can be dangerous to your health. So be very careful when you're picking. If you are to get an S10, the canisters are fine to use. They don't have asbestos in them, but don't use them, because you're just not going to be able to breathe very well. You're not going to have a very fun day because you're going to be out of breath permanently. Again, it's more for the look. So that is a real gas mask. If you decide to get yourself a surplus gas mask, I'm sure you modify it, make it so that it is capable of withstanding the rigours of airsoft, in that it'll protect your eyes and it'll protect your face. Empty your canister out if you're going to run one, so that you're not having to breathe through all that filtration medium. And if you are going to buy an older one, don't run a canister at all without doing your research, because some of them, the majority of them, will have hazardous materials as a filtration medium. So be very careful where that's concerned. Then we could move on to the cheaper gas masks. They are the same story. You don't want to take chances, guys, with your eyesight. Some of those gas masks that you'll see are only really designed for cosplay and for dress up. They're not designed for playing airsoft in. They might be being sold as being playable for airsoft, but the eye protection rating isn't there. If you're going to get something that's going to protect your eyes, make sure that it's rated for eye protection. You can do a test yourself, a lot of people do. I don't recommend that. I'd rather trust that it's got an EN standard and it's rated for impact resistance of B or above. Make sure that your eye protection you're relying on to protect your sight, you only get one set of eyes, guys, make sure that it is rated. So when you buy a cheaper gas mask that's just for the look, make sure that eye protection is rated. Even if it's mesh, don't cheap out on your eye protection, guys. So it might be tempting to get a lookalike gas mask that's around about 20 British pounds, but you can't guarantee it's going to protect your eyes. Don't use it in game. Use it for photos by all means, but don't use it around live airsoft replicas, because you do not want to lose an eye, okay? And I don't want to see anybody getting hurt. So, the actual running of a gas mask. If you're going to use one of these, you've got it all set up, you've got your eye protection, you've got your face protection, you've made sure that whatever you've bought is rated for impacts, you've made sure there's nothing toxic in your filter, you've made sure that your eye protection is there. When you run the gas mask, is it safe to run? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's going to be harder to breathe in it, and if it's a really hot day, you've got to be careful of overheating. But apart from that, you'd be safe to run a gas mask, you'd be okay. It's not going to do you any harm. Just be aware you're going to get hot and sweaty in it, and it's probably not going to be that comfy. So the upshot is it worth having a gas mask in Airsoft? Depends. It depends on whether it's just for photo opportunities. If it is, great. If you're actually going to play the game in it, no. I couldn't play a whole day in this. It's just too uncomfortable, and it spoils your enjoyment. Your visibility is limited. Your cheek weld when you're trying to aim down your replica is limited because the mask gets in the way. Looks ace, I'm not going to lie, it looks absolutely brilliant on the field. It's such an amazing look. It's certainly intimidating. But yeah, it's not very comfy. Kind of spoils the enjoyment of your day. So the upshot is, if you really want one for pictures, go for it, guys. Just make sure you do the things that I've said. If you want one for actually being your permanent full-time face protection and eye protection, I would say no. Some people do. It's all down to personal preference, but for me, no. I'd rather stick with a face protection of lower face and a pair of glasses. It's far more comfortable, you don't sweat as much, and you can breathe a heck of a lot easier. So yeah, that's basically gas masks in Airsoft. That's what we're looking at. I'll put a couple of links in the description for these lenses and the protector in case you have an S10 or you're planning on getting your hands on an S10. But whatever you get, do your research. I can't stress that enough, guys. Make sure your eyes are protected. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found this information useful. If you were thinking of a gas mask, or if you're new to the game and you're thinking of getting a gas mask as your face protection, I hope that's given you a little bit of an idea of what to expect if you do decide to put a gas mask as part of your loadout in Airsoft. If you did enjoy it, drop a like on it. As I mentioned earlier, if you haven't subscribed already, get subscribed to the channel if you've been enjoying my series of videos. But apart from that, thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.